Lots of electronics up here. Look at this. Lots of stuff.
But you guys were down 28-27 at halftime.
Yes, we were. Yes, we definitely were.
What did you tell the team?
Well, the first thing that I felt was, we were just so anxious, and offensively, I thought we were just too excited, and we were a little bit scattered, and maybe trying a little too hard, and basically, we didn't look like ourselves at all from the offensive end, and I thought that was, without question, our biggest issue. From the defensive end, I thought we did a good job. Had we had a normal first half of offense, I think we'd have felt pretty good about ourselves. But the real problem was turnovers, and you saw how well Shimmy played for the game. If you look at the game, Shimmy was tremendous, but Shimmy hadn't played forever, and I can relate to what he was going through. I actually went through it myself, and I really think he probably felt like he was playing on the moon for the first half, because you can't get comfortable. It's been so long since you've been in a real game, and he was trying so hard and turning the ball over, and I didn't recognize him, but I totally understood it. And I give him a lot of credit, because he could have easily lost some confidence right out of the gate. And I think he did anything but did that, and he was sensational the second half. So we're turning the ball over. We got a little bit scattered and maybe panicked a little bit, but I just really am proud of the second half. I always go right to field goal percentage defense, and I go right to rebounding, because that to me always tells a big part of the story of just the effort and the grit and those kind of things that you have to win at this level. If you don't, you can't rely on shooting. You can't rely on your offense every night, and it's got to be the staple. It's been our staple since we've gotten here. So for us to hold a team that I thought was hard to guard the first half to 5 field goals the second half was tremendous. So I take my hat off to our guys. Sterling just felt like he might get a triple-double, and I'm probably most proud of him for his 8 assists. That's a kind of a new something we've talked about, and he's embraced, trying to be more of a playmaker and trying to be someone that sets people up more often. We need that aggressive play out of him, and yet you have to do it with judgment, and so sometimes he's going to make a mistake because he's probably being a little bit more aggressive than he's used to in terms of just putting his head down and driving the ball. But you guys have seen him like I have for years. He is a guy that when there's 6, 7, 8 minutes left in the game, it's just hard to believe that he's not going to fight somebody to try to win that darn thing and try to find a way. And that's just what I always think of him, is just he's going to do something, because he's got so much pride. He's not going down without a fight, and I thought he played very well tonight.
Coach, you were held to 7 for 24 from the field in the first half, but ended up coming out in the second half and shooting 58.6%. Did you make any specific adjustments?
A little, but not much. Really, we just tried to calm them down, to be honest, just to relax. And they were trying too hard. They were just trying too hard offensively, and they were excited to play. And it's you didn't play any exhibition games, and all of a sudden you've gone, how many months is it before you played in front of a crowd, and where it's for real and it's for keeps and it matters, and sometimes it takes an adjustment. I'm always, I said this before the game, almost every year the scariest game for me of the year is the first one, because you just haven't been out there. You just don't know what to expect. You don't know what feelings your guys will have. Seasons kind of settle in. They just said, I hope we settled in the second half. Honestly, I hope that's what the season settles into. But they do. They just sort of have a way of settling into a personality, and normally it doesn't take place on the first night or the first half of the first night. So I'm pleased well, anytime you win the game, you're pleased. But I am thrilled with the second half, the way we responded to a first half that I know for our returners was probably very disappointing.
Talked about them being tough to guard in the first half. What about what they did offensively was tough for you to guard?
Them in the first half? Well, just I thought they were crisp running their offense. They ran it with really good pace. Nelson is really, we said it beforehand, Nelson, we had a lot of respect for Nelson. He's an outstanding offensive player. He had 13 in the first half. Some of them he had against our zone because we got in foul trouble. We had Ben on the bench. We had Jure on the bench. We were trying to, really just get to halftime, to be honest. And then we got some tough matchups during that period. So part of it was him and part of it was them, but part of it became, our foul situation, and we didn't maybe have the perfect matchup for him to keep us from getting further into foul trouble. So I thought that was a factor, but not the whole half. Just in general, they did a good job, and we played. Our first half defense was good enough to stretch it out. We just played so poorly offensively the first half, and we turned it over, if I'm not mistaken, 11 times the first half, and you just can't get any kind of rhythm that way. And then we settled for some shots, some early threes when we were trying to make up for some tough plays that we'd made, and that kind of went against us. But I thought we found the rhythm. We're sharing the ball the second half. We're making some good strong drives and post-ups and really just the whole package of offense that you hope to get, and including some very good offensive rebounds at key times.
Anything else?
How does it feel for you to get the first one?
Honestly, and I'm a little uncomfortable talking about, but it felt like last year was the first one, to be honest, and and it was tough circumstances, and it was not good for anyone, but this just felt like the next year to be. It didn't feel like the first game. It's not like that I'm a coach coming from a different place. Like when I went to my previous school, it's your first game, and I'm pretty comfortable here. I've been here, number one, and number two, I was in this position for a whole month last year. So I don't know that it really feels like exactly the first game. It feels like the first game of the season, I can tell you that. And we're looking straight up the mountain at a lot of things that are kind of come at us. And I know some of the challenges we're going to have given a lot of things. But it just feels like the beginning, and it's going to be a long journey, and hopefully it's going to be a good one.
Coach, how do you think Ben Malibu played his first game after sitting out last year?
He did well. He did fine, but he's actually been playing tremendously in for the last 5 or 6 months. I think if you ask him, he would say he didn't play near as well as he has been playing. He really has been playing well, and I think you'll see some really good nights out of him. He's a tough competitor. He's a very good shooter. He's good IQ. He's a big piece to this puzzle. Can play multiple positions. I'll bet if you ask him, he would say, "Gosh, I didn't play very well tonight," and yet I think he did just fine, and I think we're going to see some big nights out of him.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'll be back up with